Hey everyone, how's it going? We were feeling pretty good about this slate today, so we wanted to bring you one of our strategy shows. You're excited, right, Preston?
Yeah. I've been researching the slate all day, and we're ready for these two games tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Playoffs, high stakes, lot to like, a lot of in-depth analysis we can do. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. We'll be covering the Mighty Dollar Jackpot for each game tonight, and we'll start with the Warriors and Pelicans, where we have Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, and Drew Holiday for points. Tough category, but I think Preston might have something he likes.
Yeah, this one's really tough. We have probably what could very well end up being the four highest scores on of this game, at least. So it's going to be tough to nail one of these. We've seen Anthony Davis do what he does, just put up massive numbers. Seen Durant do the same thing, and we have Curry coming back. He was back last game, and he played really well in limited minutes. He only played 27, I think, or so, and still put up upper 20s in points. And then Drew Holiday too. He's definitely a great player, but when you got him with these three other guys, it's going to be tough to kind of choose him over all three of them really. So I can probably rule out him, but between the other three, it's very very close. I think with Curry, with his coming back from his injury, going to New Orleans, I think it may just be a little. It may be a lot on his body. I think it's going to be a little tougher if he plays 35, 38 minutes tonight. He's a great player, can put up points in a hurry, but just with Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant with him, I don't really love picking him. Don't really want to take him over both of those two other guys. So for me, it's really between Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant. These guys are both incredible. It's going to be really tough for me to choose between the two, honestly. Really, the only edge I could find between the two would be the home road splits for each guy. Anthony Davis gets to go back home to New Orleans, where he'll have the home crowd with him. He knows the arena better. He's just going to have the leg up there. They're both incredible players, but I think if there's any edge to be had here, it's probably the fact that Anthony Davis gets the home court advantage for tonight's game. So I'd probably pick him, but once again, I could see either guy scoring 40 plus tonight easy. So there's really no definitive research that you could do between either of these two guys.
Yeah, I think I like the Davis call as well. Curry was really efficient last game. Yeah, I think he had 28 points, 7 free throws. He was over 50% from the field. But like he didn't take like nearly as many shots as Anthony Davis, who had 24 last game, which is just he'll be home, a little edge right there. Picking between Curry and Durant is pretty tough. Anthony Davis is not the lone star on the Pelicans, but he's home. I expect him to have a big game, and if we're trying to find an edge in a player, I mean, you got to go with the home player who isn't coming off of an injury for once in his life, and we not splitting time between stars. I mean, tough category. Expected to be a good game, hopefully a close one. But I would give Anthony Davis the lean in points as well. For rebounds, we have Davis again, Draymond Green, Mirotic, and Kevin Durant. Are you sticking with Anthony Davis?
Yeah, for me, I'm really looking at Anthony Davis here. This one's not too tough for me. I think on any given night, yeah, either of these other three guys could probably out rebound him, but more times than not, Anthony Davis is going to be the highest rebounder here. I project him just to grab 12, 13 rebounds tonight, and the other three I have looking at like 7 to 8. So yeah, for me, it's really looking at Anthony Davis here. It's really not a tough call. You don't need to put too much thought into it or overthink this at all, really. So I like the Anthony Davis pick. He just straight up has a higher floor, higher upside all around.
Absolutely. Let's go with it and move on. For I think another category you're going to find pretty easy. Just going through your research today with assists between Rondo, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, and Stephen Curry.
Yeah, I love Rondo here. We have him as a DFI must-have on the DFI site for fantasy sports, for daily fantasy. We love him. I think he can get 15 plus assists tonight, fairly easy, which is just crazy to say. Like we've been saying with with the past few categories. They just get a advantage going home. The Pelicans crowd is a big factor in their play. I think Rondo is kind of just a no-brainer call here, as is Anthony Davis in the last category.
Yeah, very rare that we can kind of just easily pick out two guys in these categories, but I absolutely agree with Preston that weekend today. And lastly, we'll have Stephen Curry for points. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, so like we were saying earlier, he had a great game last game, put up 28, I believe. He shot well and didn't play a ton. So that's kind of something to be wary of. I don't really know exactly what his minutes projection will be tonight, but I would think maybe 30 to 32. If I had to kind of pick a number, he played 27 last night, and though he played really well, I wouldn't really project him up too high. I wouldn't go too far over 30. He shot 15 times last game, and 10 of those were threes, and still got 7 free throws. So he definitely has 35, 40-point upside. But tonight with Kevin Durant there, Klay Thompson always there, got Draymond Green handling the ball as well. I'm looking at more 25 range or so, maybe 25, 26 for a average. So yeah, I'd probably go, I guess, 23 to 27 or 26 to 28 or I guess 26 to 30, but somewhere in that range for me.
Yeah, I think that's a good estimate. Like we said, they're up 2-0, coming off an injury. I don't think Steve Kerr is too worried about this series, although it should be a good one. I expect New Orleans to probably get a game in one of these two. But he just probably won't see over 30 minutes. If he doesn't shoot as efficiently, then you're not, putting him at the 31 to 35 point total that he easily could get if he was playing his allotment of, say, 36 to 38 minutes. So yeah, I kind of like the mid to upper 20s. I think the 25 to 29 range is pretty good for Curry. Just don't overdo it tonight. A lot of people are being tempted to, but Steve Kerr, his team looking pretty good. One without Curry, one with him coming off the bench the next game. I don't think he's too worried. He doesn't want to push his superstar until their matchup with the winner of this next game, or next series, I should say, which we have the Jazz and the Rockets. And the most points between Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, Joe Ingles, and Clint Capella. Are you all in on Mitchell here?
Yeah, I like Mitchell a lot tonight. Like with the first game, I think you got to give them major advantage here to the home team. Utah is even more rowdy than the Pelicans fans are. That atmosphere in that stadium is just crazy. Mitchell plays better at home, and I have him going for about 25 points or so tonight. Whereas the other three, Chris Paul is a great player in himself, but with Harden there, I don't see him scoring over 20. I could see maybe around 20 tonight, but I don't see him outscoring Mitchell. And then with Ingles and Capella, they're just not as big of usage players. Ingles will kind of do it all. He'll get the rebounds, get the assists. He'll handle the ball a little more without Rubio. So he's not going to be able to just be a spot-up shooter as much. And Capella, he'll get you your double-double, points and rebounds. But, yeah, I think Mitchell's the clear-cut favorite here for points.
Yeah, absolutely love Mitchell. Don't think we need to go too more in depth on that one. Also love Jiggling Joe, but I don't think he outscores Mitchell. No. For rebounds, we have Clint Capella, Rudy Gobert, PJ Tucker, and Jay Crowder. Got a tough one between Gobert and Clint Capella. Do you think there's a home field advantage, or what sticks out?
Yeah, this one's really tough. I think you can rule out the other two aside from the centers. Tucker and Crowder just aren't even really close in this category. Between Capella and Gobert, it's going to be close, though. I think both of them could go right around 11 or 12 rebounds tonight. I do like Gobert being back home. But yeah, this one's really tough. Capella's been very consistent this playoffs, or throughout the playoffs. He had 12 and 11 rebounds in the first two games of this series, where Gobert had 9 and 14. I think really, and it's tough because you could look at it from an upside perspective and say, try to find which one has more upside, but really both of them have 18 to 20 rebound upside. I think, honestly, I may be leaning Capella here, but I think the merit for Gobert here is definitely there. I would probably just try to multi-enter between these two. It's going to be very tough to find a guy to pick out of those two guys for rebounding. So, yeah.
I think I also like your Capella call, and I'll tell you why. And when I look at the minutes he's seeing, when they play a team with big man, I mean, Capella's minutes are up from his average on the season. There were games where Capella saw 18 to 21 minutes. We're looking at, I'm looking at 35 minutes, 33 minutes, 31 minutes, 32 minutes, all in the last games, and he's responding with 17, 15, 12, 11 rebounds. I think if you're looking pure upside, then Gobert's got it, but I like what Houston's doing with Capella. He'll be on the court more because they don't have anyone else to deal with Gobert. So I think I like the call, but absolutely, if you're multi-entering, you have to get one of each, especially when we have someone who we expect to win the points category in Donovan Mitchell. For most assists, we have James Harden, Chris Paul, Joe Ingles, and Donovan Mitchell again. Anything different make James Harden or Chris Paul better?
Yeah, I think for me here, I'm looking at James Harden primarily. These four guys will likely be the four highest assist guys in this game unless someone kind of comes out of nowhere. Each of them are looking at 4 to 7, 4 to 8 assists, whereas nobody else really holds that projection in the game. So these are going to be the top four guys for sure. I think really with Harden, he has a 38% usage on the series, I believe. He just has the ball in his hands all the time, whereas Chris Paul is down around 25 to 30, I believe. And then between Ingles and Mitchell, without Rubio, they definitely get a boost in assists. But really, to me, I don't see either of them having double-digit assist upside. Whereas I think Harden can definitely get 8 to 10 here. Chris Paul, he's a great playmaker, great ball handler. But, with Harden in this category, I think I'm going Harden here for sure.
I agree. The usage thing, I always bring it up, and Harden's 40%, 33%, 41%. It's just too much to like. I mean, Chris Paul doesn't see the same minutes Harden does. Harden just always has the ball in his hands. He had 11 last game, 7 and 12 the 2 games before. I think we can easily pick Harden here, unless something crazy happens in this game. And speaking of Harden, we have him for points. I always say it, my second least favorite guy to see for points. Going on the road to Utah, tough place to play. They got in his head last. Even the Utah fans got in his head at the loss at home. How do you think he responds tonight?
Yeah, he's been having a massive series. He put up 41 in game 1 and had 32 last game. He just shoots the ball a ton. He's shooting the ball like 25 times a game. He's taking double-digit threes and he's taking double-digit free throws. So the floor is definitely very high. Even though he shoots a bunch of threes, he makes a bunch as well. So and getting to the line all the time, it's hard to ignore that. So I mean, he's an elite player. He's gonna get you 25 to 30 almost every game. So for me personally, I'm looking at 32 as my projection for just a single bullet here. I think you can probably go 30 to 34 or so. I always say this, but it's so tough to project these guys for 1 or even a range of 5 points. He went off first game, he scored 40 plus. So, and he has that upside every game. But just for an average projection, I'm looking at 32. So right around there would be my range.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, that's kind of funny. I was thinking about taking a single bullet at this contest and picking 32.
Yeah.
Pretty funny you say that. But the more I look at it, the more I really like this Houston Jazz game. I think I'm going to multi-enter it, hope for the best. Probably slot Harden off for 32 to 35 is what I'm hoping for. I might give him a few 36, 37. I'm sure he'll score 34, 35 if I do that. But yeah, I think when I was looking at it, I mean, the man scored 32 points on 9 of 22 shooting and 2 of 10 from the three-point line. So if we expect him to keep shooting, which we will, I think he'll make more than 2 of 10 threes. And he's been consistently getting to the line double digits in this series. So I think you have to go over 30. Just where you go in that range is going to be the tough part there. But that'll do it for our playoff series. Good luck. I hope this helped a lot. And we will be back the next time that we feel we have an edge. So good luck, guys.